civilians, but he refused to call it a war crime. Why? Well, I'll let you decide.
Russia is committing war crimes.
We are following it very closely. It's early to say that.
Russia is intentionally targeting civilian areas. There are over 2,000 civilian deaths.
There they are.
Such strength and clarity, and just like Joe's uninspiring State of the Union speech last night, instead of showing real leadership on the world stage, Joe basically read off a wish list of repackaged, build back broke proposals, and he offered no plan to curb inflation, or no plan to lower gas prices, no plan to secure the border, no plan to reduce violent crime, no plan to counter China. And by the way, Taiwan, I would argue, keep a close eye on it. Probably not going to be that long. And he didn't even bother to mention the 13 U.S. soldiers who died as a result of his disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, or the Americans who have been trapped behind enemy lines. Today, by the way, is day 200. Joe abandoned them. And by the way, Joe and the media, they not only abandoned them, they turned the page and they've moved on. Pretty unforgivable. Now, Joe also didn't seem to have much of a plan to assist the people of Ukraine, but he did manage to call them Iranians, leaving the vice president a little bit embarrassed. Take a look.
Putin may circle Kyiv with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. He'll never extinguish their love of freedom.
Ukrainian, Joe, not Iranian, Ukrainian. One of many awkward moments from a very simple speech, frankly, one that could have been written by a fifth grader, that still proved too difficult for our struggling commander-in-chief. You decide.
We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe. We're cutting off Russia's largest banks in the international financial system, preventing Russia's central bank from defending the Russian ruble. Our forces are not going to Europe to fight Ukraine, and a pound of Ukrainian people, the proud, proud people, pound for pound, ready to fight with every inch of energy they have. You can't build a wall high enough to keep out a vaccine. The vaccine can stop the spread of these diseases. Ban assault weapons with high-capacity magazines hold up to 100 rounds. You think the deer are wearing Kevlar vests? And may God protect our troops. Thank you. Go get him.
Go get him. Go get who? Trying to emulate Larry the Cable Guy, you know, get her done? I mean, what was that all about? Anyway, meanwhile, as Joe was mumbling and bumbling his way through a very simple speech, our 81-year-old Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, was having her own malfunction in a very bizarre way. Now, take a look at her very joyous reaction to Biden's comments about burn pits in the Iraq war. You maybe can explain this to me, because I can't.
In Iraq, in Afghanistan, faced many dangers. One being stationed at bases breathing in toxic smoke from burn pits. Many of you have been there. I've been in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 40 times. These burn pits that incinerate waste.
Can someone explain that to me? Anyway, I digress. And then there's Vice President Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris, she brilliantly described the conflict in Europe like this, quote, Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that is wrong. Okay, when you add these three together, we're really screwed, and the state of our union is not strong, and it's no surprise with these three pathetic losers in charge.